After careful consideration, Creighton University reinstates men's basketball head coach Greg McDermott after a brief suspension. What will the repercussions of his actions have on the future of the Omaha community and men's basketball? Good afternoon, I'm Jimmy Carroll.
And I'm Joey Colbert. Coming up, we'll see how a senior living facility opens up to full capacity after receiving COVID-19 vaccines. All this and more on the Omaha News.
From the studios of UNO Television, this is the Omaha News, presented by UNO School of Communication.
Debate began Wednesday in the House on President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill. Narrowly passing the bill last week, the Senate has amended the stimulus bill to include $300 weekly federal unemployment benefit through August. In addition, the bill includes $1,400 in stimulus checks, money for vaccines, and funding to reopen the schools. If the bill is passed in the House, President Biden is expected to sign it shortly after White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says stimulus payments could start going out this month after the bill has been signed. For the last 6 months, an independent senior living community in Bellevue coped through the challenges of containing COVID-19. This month, they opened back to full capacity. I followed up with the community as they lifted restrictions after all the residents and staff received their vaccines.
Richmont Village is progressing back to a normal pre-COVID-19 daily life they once had before their shutdown. As vaccines became available for senior citizens, Executive Director Jennifer Primek made it a priority for the residents and staff to acquire their protection as soon as they can.
We took it as a blessing, actually, because we didn't know that we were going to have the opportunity. So to have that opportunity, we jumped on it.
Vaccine distribution was coordinated floor by floor in these hallways as residents sat outside their apartments waiting to acquire their doses. Although everyone in the facility received their protection, resident Donna Larson isn't ready to jump into conclusions just yet.
We're a little more comfortable knowing that we are protected to a degree. So I'm not going to rush out to do any of the things I used to do just because I've got the shot. I don't think that's using common sense.
Richmont residents are gradually transitioning back to normal after receiving their vaccines. Everyone is still required to wear a mask while participating in daily activities.
When we were getting everything ready, even the staff, we were all so excited to come to work the next day because we knew it was going to be so different.
From expanding the dining hall to full capacity to hosting leisure time activities, Primek feels the community atmosphere trending towards a brighter direction in the upcoming months. This even lifted her spirits up knowing the community interaction is returning.
You need to be able to see those smiles. You need to be able to have those hugs. You need to be able to just have that connection.
Nothing is preventing Larson from keeping her positive vibe flowing through Richmont's bumpy road to recovery. She expresses her gratitude for the staff's commitment of serving the residents during the pandemic.
I think they've done everything they could possibly do to keep us safe.
Keeps herself busy at Richmont Village by knitting small cat blankets. She calls them little cat cozies as they are donated to the Nebraska Humane Society for cats awaiting their adoption. Larson told me she has completed over 550 cozies and shows no signs of stopping.
Starting April 1st, Douglas County hopes to provide vaccine shots to those 50 and older. The announcement comes as community clinics have received 19,000 doses this week. The health department discovered that the Walmart near 72nd and Hickory received a shipment of vaccines. Previously, there were no Walmarts or Sam's Clubs in Douglas County getting doses. There also have been talks about permanent vaccine locations in Douglas County. The county health department says it's still working on the final details and will be making an announcement in the next few days. After defeating Butler on Saturday, Creighton men's basketball looks ahead to the Big East tournament Thursday to punch their ticket to March Madness. However, an incident involving their head coach has been the headline surrounding the team.
Creighton men's basketball coach Greg McDermott was suspended from all team activities after the racially insensitive comments he made to his team last Tuesday, referencing a plantation. Creighton basketball season ticket holder Katie Backus says she cannot believe McDermott would make such a mistake.
I think especially with things going on today with, surrounding Black Lives Matter and things like that. He would know to be sensitive towards it.
The suspension came on Thursday night, 2 days after the university said any actions will remain confidential. McDermott tweeted his support of the suspension and offered to resign from his position days earlier. Supporters of McDermott feel that this was solely a matter of poor word choice. However, many feel that this is a symptom of a deeper issue we face here in our country. Inclusive Communities is a nonprofit organization located in the Community Engagement Center at UNO, who aim to confront bigotry and discrimination. Program partner Colin McGrew says that McDermott's comment is a product of systemic racism.
This is something that we see across the United States, and is a product of years and years, centuries and centuries, in a culture that really allows for situations like this to develop.
McGrew says an incident like this is bound to happen again. He says dialogue and policy change is a starting point to tackle the issue.
How can we create things that are written, that are there to protect people that might be the target of language like this?
McDermott's suspension was lifted Monday afternoon, allowing him to coach Thursday when Creighton enters the Big East tournament. For the Omaha News, I'm Nathan Farrell.
Creighton Athletic Director Bruce Rasmussen said McDermott was reinstated because of his immediate apology and ownership of his actions. Rasmussen also says he believes his apology was sincere.
UNO's annual Chuck Hagel Forum took place last Monday with a few changes. In the past 2 years, the annual Chuck Hagel Forum in Global Leadership has featured guest speakers President Joe Biden and Secretary of State John Kerry. This year's event featured former U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security Tom Ridge. This year's online event, which would typically be held at UNO Strauss Performing Arts Center, was co-sponsored by the Atlantic Council, which made the forum available for streaming on its website and accessible to more people. Hagel said no matter what format the forum took place in, the important part was the focus on global leadership.
So everything is global today. So that means we've got to lead, because if we do not lead, as we have led since World War II, somebody else will lead. And somebody will take our place.
If you missed the forum on Monday night, you can view a recording of the event at atlanticcouncil.org.
With the COVID-19 pandemic coming to a closing of movie theaters everywhere, this changed the way people consume movies, going from sitting in front of the big screen with a huge bucket of popcorn to the small laptop screens with the scent of microwavable popcorn consuming the kitchen. Reporter Adam Ortega joins us live.
I am live here at the Alamo Drafthouse located in Midtown Crossing. Now, this movie theater has been open for about a year before the pandemic and had to shut down due to the coronavirus. It's hard to tell if the movie theater industry will ever recover from the ongoing pandemic.
The Alamo Drafthouse announced last week that they had filed for bankruptcy, and although Omaha Drafthouse locations will not be closing for good, some are wondering about the fate of movie theaters. Former movie theater employee Ryan Gerchen says he never saw this coming.
I've been waiting to go back there ever since the pandemic started, and now that I can't, and I have history there, not just as a moviegoer, but as a worker and just someone who loves cinema in general. It's all bad news.
As you can see, I'm curled up in a living room watching some of the newest box office releases on streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and HBO. It's hard to tell if the movie theater industry will ever recover from the coronavirus pandemic. Although most theaters are closed, the AMC franchise is open with strict guidelines like always wearing a mask. Chance Oliver is host of the film podcast Box Office Bros. He says not to give up on theaters just yet.
Throwing something on, Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max, it's a good substitute. You can still be on your phone and pause it to go to the bathroom, but I don't know. There's just that experience of, your phone has to be away. You're in a dark room. You've got, sure, the popcorn you paid for was just $20 with your drink, but I don't know. There's just something about it.
For now, streaming.
Well, the way that we have consumed media has definitely changed with more stay-at-home orders, and people just aren't going out as much. Now, AMC franchise said that they saw a 91% decrease in sales due to the pandemic. Joey, back to you.
Coming up, there are many things to discover at Fontenelle Forest, such as walking trails, However, an art discover is not something that would usually come to mind. Next, we see how a food pantry coordinator stresses the importance of food drives and food pantries, especially during a pandemic. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
There's a unique educational experience right here in Omaha. With access to top-rated programs, in-demand degrees, and a worldwide community of graduates, UNO prepares students for life, wherever it may lead. From Omaha to Italy to Uganda to Japan, Mavericks are working in communities around the globe. So where will a degree from UNO take you? UNO, access to exceptional, access to the world. Learn more at unomaha.edu.
Benson, where creativity is our culture. Benson's lively atmosphere offers a unique experience. Come enjoy great live music, enjoy a variety of bars, get amazing food from local restaurants, and shop at local businesses. Whatever you do, you won't be disappointed with your experience. Learn more at experiencebenson.com.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha's bookstore is home to more than books. The UNO bookstore accommodates all students' needs with phone and laptop repairs at the iFix UNO station or free residence hall delivery. The bookstore, located in the Milevale Student Center, is full of Maverick merchandise. Find sweatshirts for chilly Nebraska days or cozy UNO mugs for every coffee fix. Shop anytime at unobookstore.com.
This is the Omaha News.
Just a few years ago, Omaha Athletics were able to gather more food than any other school in the Summit League. However, this year UNO isn't off to such a hot start. Reporter Biak joins us in Studio A.
Every year, Omaha Athletics hosts numerous events to help raise goods for the Summit League food fight. One of their most popular events is the Food Drive Night, where spectators can get into the sporting event for free in exchange for canned goods or other food items. This year, they have had to change things up a little bit. The UNO Athletics are competing in the Summit League Food Fight, a food drive where they gather goods for a local food pantry and compete against all other Summit League schools. Danny Brook, Director of Student Athlete Development, says supporters have options to donate a variety of items such as peanut butter, tuna, or pasta sauce, but this year has a COVID twist.
Typically in years past, we're able to do a physical food drive, whether it's at Baxter Arena or with elementary schools in the Papillion La Vista School District. This year, we're not able to do that. Everything is done online. There's no physical donations that are being accepted.
The food drive hasn't gained as much attention as years past. In 2018, Omaha won the food fight by raising over 55,000 pounds. That doesn't mean the food drive isn't important. Madeline St. Clair, Maverick Food Pantry Coordinator, explains what it means for those they serve.
We have a consistent few people who just get 2 bags a week. Like, you can see them every week, you know when they're gonna come, you know what's in their bag just because you fill it so often. So I think we're just providing a constant place that they know that they can get this stuff.
With the food fight ending on March 31st, Brooke is already looking forward to the future.
You know, we're excited to finish the food fight for this year, but at the same time anxious to get it back in person next year just to see if that will help help with the donations and the amount, because a lot of people are still in need and we want to obviously contribute to that.
Food donations will go to the Tri-City Food Pantry this year, but must be made virtually in order to count in the competition. The contest has taken place annually since before Omaha joined the Summit League. Joey, back to you.
Some organizations have had to close due to the coronavirus pandemic, not even being able to do things online. But one organization has gotten creative in an effort to keep their doors open. Founded in 1997, the Refugee Empowerment Center provides holistic and culturally effective refugee resettlement services that empower newcomers to thrive in their new lives. They also aim to meet needs of newcomers within 90 days, including settling into a home and establishing your provider, but they have been impacted by the pandemic.
Well, definitely more people should know about it because we are in the process right now over the next year and a half of getting in a lot more refugees around the world.
Recently, they have started working with UNO classes and service learning opportunities to help raise funds for their program, and last semester they came up a way to do that, which included selling candles.
Fontenelle Forest hopes visitors will be able to experience 100 years of its history through artwork. Reporter R.C. Miller shows us the new exhibit that is on display right now.
There are many things to discover at Fontenelle Forest, such as walking trails covering hundreds of acres, obstacle courses through the treetops, and raptors of all shapes and sizes. However, an art discovery is not something that would usually come to mind. For Catherine Cooper, a former Fontenelle employee turned volunteer, it started off as an inconspicuous post-it note in a file cabinet that had been tucked away for years in the basement archives of Fontenelle Forest.
I knew the note was about 15 years old because I recognized the handwriting. So I took a chance and I called, and the woman, Roxanne Hine, answered the phone. And we were talking. I said, "Do you have the painting?" And she said, "Yes, it's in the closet."
And just like that, an original painting of Logan Fontenelle had been rediscovered, dating back over 100 years. The painting is based off a sketch of Logan when he was exploring the land along the Missouri River back in the 1850s. The recovered and restored painting will remain on display as part of the Forest Through the Eyes of the Artist exhibit before finding a permanent home in the Nature Center. Miriam Holder, a receptionist at Fontenelle Forest, encourages people to come out and see the exhibit before it concludes in June.
You know, I'm particularly fond of the portrait of Logan Fontenelle. He was a very important person in this area, and I'd like people to come and learn about the history of Fontenelle Forest.
The exhibit hours are from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. For the Omaha News, I'm R.C. Miller.
If you would like to see the exhibit, admission is $11 for adults, $8 for kids 17 and under, and free to children under the age of 2. Coming up, we look at how Omaha golf courses teed up for the first day of the golf season and what golfers can expect with a full season on the green ahead. Keep it right here. We'll be right back.
Radio isn't what your grandparents told you. It's about discovering facts from the other side of the story. But MavRadio.fm produces talent, people who can take someone's story and bring it to life.
Wind, reel, and print.
For me, it's about understanding the process of communication and what we learn through that process.
So something that you'll find within the School of Communication graduate program is that there is such a rich field of expertise.
I can think of no other discipline where we spend so much time focusing on not just one side of the conversation, but all sides of the conversation.
Not only do you get to work closely with other graduate students that come from all different walks of life, but you get to learn from graduate faculty that take those perspectives and help you grow yourself in a way that teaches you to be an academic, but also lets you be you in a really unique way.
I chose UNO very specifically, not just because I live here, I'm proud to represent here, but because I thought their program offered strengths that I didn't see in other programs.
This is the Omaha News.
With the sunny weather and a little bit of cabin fever, Omahans are heading back to the golf course. Reporter Jared Barton has the story.
The weather starts to turn. People in the Omaha area are seeking new hobbies and taking up seasonal favorites once again. Saturday, golf season opened for the metro area, and Omaha and Council Bluffs courses definitely felt the impact. Grant Wakefield, the owner and general manager of Fox Run Golf Course in Council Bluffs, says they hit capacity on opening day tee times this year after a successful 2020 season.
I think the next couple of years are going to be really big in golf. I mean, the amount of new golfers we had last year, and obviously COVID was a big jump start for golf courses, especially in the past couple of years. But I don't see it slowing down anytime soon.
At Stone Creek Golf Course in Omaha, they saw a similar rush in traffic. General Manager Connor Farrell says these have been landmark years for golf.
Last year set records across the industry everywhere, so I just don't see any way anyone can be as busy as we were last year.
While they may not want to say the same for their game, they're happy to report that attendance is above par. Both attributed some of the boom to weather and to people being stuck indoors or apart from friends last year, adding that golf is one sport where social distance is a common practice in a normal season.
The golf course itself, it didn't affect because golf is built for social distancing. The inside restaurant itself, yeah, that got affected. We probably didn't do as big of numbers last year and early this year just because we're not comfortable moving all the way back yet.
For the Omaha News, I'm Jared Barton.
If you are planning on hitting the range or playing a couple rounds, make sure you call far in advance, as time slots are limited right now.
It will be making its return to Baxter Arena this year after a one-year absence due to the pandemic. The run will be returning Saturday, April 24th, and participants can sign up for 6 events, including the Stampede 10K, the Clausen 5K, and a 10K virtual run. Race day registration for the 5K and 10K runs are $40 for each runner, with the 10K starting at 9 a.m. and the 5K starting at 9:05 a.m. at Baxter Arena. If runners are looking to attend the event virtually, running times must be submitted by 10 a.m. on April 24th. A link and code will be provided to submit times. Around 1,000 to 1,500 runners will be allowed to attend.
Campus might seem like a ghost town. That does not change the fact students are busy preparing for their midterm exams, projects, and assignments, which can leave them feeling stress. Stress isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's our body's way of telling us that something important is coming up. Junior at UNO, Jessie Mueller, is taking all remote classes, which has caused her to feel overwhelmed this semester.
It's been a lot more stressful just feeling disconnected from teachers and from the school, and just feeling like everything that I'm learning I kind of have to do on my own.
When it comes to studying, Mueller states that all-nighters are not the way to go about preparing for midterms. Experts recommend studying in small increments of time to better retain information and improve workflow efficiency.
Originally from Kansas, a family-owned pizzeria makes its way to the Omaha metro area. Many businesses have shut down, but there's something special about this restaurant that keeps people coming back for more. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Standing in the clouds, looking down on the ancient ruins of the Incan Empire. I never thought I'd live among the street artists in Valparaiso. I never thought I'd make friends that would last a lifetime.
Adventure's out there, and as Mavericks, it's up to us to find it.
Stop thinking, start doing. Visit educationabroad.unomaha.edu.
Dundee, home to Warren Buffett. It's located west of Midtown Omaha, Nebraska. It's a place in Omaha where neighbors can work, eat, relax, and live it up, all within a few blocks. Come visit the neighborhood and see what Dundee has to offer.
always pretend to call the game, and it's like it was a lifelong dream of mine, and now that I'm starting to fulfill that dream, it's been awesome.
With the UNO School of Communication, your dream begins today.
Unbelievable experience. I'm extremely grateful that I get to do it.
And it is so exciting to see what they can do and what they want to do.
What can you say about your Maverick team? The deadline is now.
A popular pizza company is continuously growing since the pandemic began. See how the owner is planning to expand his pizza empire.
Order up.
Home of the cream cheese pizza, Kopp's Pizza Company at Shadow Lake Town Center in Papillion is one of a kind. Co-owner Chris Kopps and his father wanted to expand the company during the pandemic while being extra cautious.
One benefit coming from Kansas City is a heavy delivery carry-out market, so we already kind of had that mold, and then Omaha is a really big dine-in market. So when COVID hit, it's like we had already been prepared.
Food lovers who want to satisfy their cravings can try these tasty wings, the Gorgie Jang and the spicy garlic, as well as these pizzas, salads, burgers, and so much more. Ashley Fitton works at Kopp's Pizza Company and says the atmosphere is based around community.
It's quite amazing, actually. You hear a lot of these almost horror stories where people are losing their businesses, they're losing their homes, they're losing everything. So it's quite scary to kind of venture out and start something like this, especially during this time period. But to be so successful with it means that we've got a secret.
Fitton says the secret to success, besides the food and drinks, is the exceptional customer service and homemade cheesecakes that keep customers coming back for more.
If you go on Google review, you can definitely see quite a few comments on great service, great food, and it's just an overall great experience for our guests.
The continued expansion of Kopp's Pizza Company in the Omaha area in 2021 has allowed for thriving business that may find its next location near Elkhorn.
That's all we have for you today. Join us next time for more exciting stories in your community.
Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at UNO The Omaha News, or find our website for even more news and stories at unomahanews.com.
From all of us here at UNO Television, thanks for watching.
We will see you next time.
Hi everyone, I'm Kathy Wyatt. Welcome to the first edition, the 5th edition, 9th edition, the 13th edition of a special weekly series on Consider This, COVID-19.
Like most Americans, no idea that we would be entering into a pandemic in 2020.
There are an awful lot of people who are infected that don't know it.
I just knew that it wasn't the normal cold or flu that I've ever experienced in my life.
What my shift is like at the hospital, then you would understand that this is very, very real.
It impacts us in the work environments that we all work in, but it also is in the community.
We don't have treatments, we don't have vaccine, so we need to have behavior change.
Parents, I really have tremendous appreciation for all the things that parents have been asked to take on as a result of this pandemic.
It's been a challenging time for some students and families and teachers alike.
This virus is not going to go away, not in any time soon.
Lyle, calm down.
For years, the Old Market has been a popular attraction. With its vintage atmosphere and rich history, it's a great way to spend an evening. It has niche restaurants where you can grab dinner and unique stores you can shop at, making it an exciting place to explore. So come on down and check out the Old Market, located between 10th and 13th Streets and Farnham and Jackson Streets.